Drop shot. Pressure will not get there.
He's out 6-4, Carlos Alcaraz. All smiles, hugs and handshakes. Carlos has some.
Yeah, it seems like a pleasant enough embrace at the net.
Yeah. Us journos building something up that's not there. So we have the first Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner match of 2026. Carlos applauds the crowd. They still love him, even though they've just beaten the local lad.
Yeah, first Synchronous final of the year. Been waiting for this one for a while.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, but it's good to have it finally. Monte Carlo isn't necessarily where I would have predicted that they would meet. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. Both of them have been playing well so far, and I think both of them have at times shown moments of vulnerability this week. So I think it's going to be a really interesting match to see who comes out on top tomorrow.
Do you think a point was made before this one that Vacheron's actually played all his matches leading up to this at night, and this was the first time he was during the day. Now, with these finals, a lot of the time when it's just a Masters 1000 or whatever, they are played during the day. So Monte Carlo, that'll be probably about this time tomorrow. Do you think that'll have any kind of bearing on the clash of styles? In terms of the heat and the hard and fast nature of the court. The court will be a little bit hot.
Yeah, it might. I think that's mitigated on clay a little bit, certainly compared to hard courts. But I think, Carlos and Jannik have both played like matches earlier on in the day there, so I think they're prepared for the conditions. I'm not entirely sure who it benefits more to have a match during the day on clay. Who do you think it benefits?
I think Carlos. I'll say Carlos purely for the reason is I still have questions over Jannik in the heat and the cramps, and there was that moment in the match where he looked like he was going to vomit. I think the heat. Listen, he's as we would say, he's a peely skinned boy. Jannik, he's red haired. I'm not saying that it's a major factor, but we've seen in the past heat cramps for both of these players. By the way, I remember Carlos at the French Open semi-finals against Djokovic. That he put that down to nerves rather than the heat, but yeah, I think just in terms of that, there's still probably there's a mild questions on Jannik Sinner and the heat and the nerves and the kind of the moment that what they're playing for. They're playing for the number one, they're playing for the Masters title, but they're playing for their own rivalry. As you can see there, Carlos with 10-6 lead. It had up until the ATP Finals, which was indoor, which is Carlos's probably least favourite setup. He kind of showed Jannik Sinner who was boss a little bit in the US Open Final on the hard court. We had the French Open last year. Did they not play? What they played? Did they play in Rome last year? Was it Madrid where Jannik took the first set?
Rome was Carlos won 7-6, 6-1. It was Jannik's
Jannik
first.
Take one of them and he took the first set, and then I'm just trying to see what John's doing now. Clay, where are you going, John? Maybe I've made that totally up. Maybe I made it up. I thought there was a final where Jannik won the first set and then Carlos won the next two. So listen, it's going to be exciting. It's what we've been all waiting for. I think I needed that wee break. I think there was a period of time last year where folk were now getting a wee bit bored of them two, like reaching every single final and playing each other, particularly in the majors. But I think it's the right time now to get these two guys back together. Can't say either one of them is looking like they've got any weaknesses. I'd say maybe Carlos has been pushed, maybe, in terms of there's only one. I mean, we all know the Sinner record. He's lost one set in the last 40 or 30 or something like that in terms of Masters 1000s. He's definitely bounced back from that kind of slow start to the year. I don't think there'll be either one of them you could say is fresher. Carlos obviously had earlier exits in North America. So I'm going to go just from a fanboy point of view. I'm going to go for Carlos Alcaraz to win it. I think it'll be in 3. And I just think, in terms of fitness and ability to cope with the warm Monte Carlo conditions by the sea, I'll go Carlos Alcaraz 6-3 in the third set. How about that?
Yeah, I don't hate that prediction at all. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Jannik Sinner is able to handle Carlos on clay. Obviously, the first time that they've played on clay and since the Roland Garros final now. So maybe it won't be the main indicator, but maybe the first time we'll see if there's a little bit of scar tissue there on clay at all. So I think that's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see how Alcaraz is able to return against Jannik Sinner. I think that's going to be maybe. Is that
you think Jannik serves maybe stepped up a notch recently?
I think so. He's been. I mean, you think about Indian Wells, Miami specifically. He's been serving absolutely insane. So, and it is interesting. In spite of the fact that one is a hard court and one is clay, Miami and Monte Carlo conditions. There's similarities between the two when it comes to heat, humidity. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see if Alcaraz is able to, what type of pressure is he able to get into the Jannik Sinner serve? Is it going to be consistent? Is it going to be a match where he has one or two moments and he has to take advantage? Or is Jannik going to be able to just serve him really well and have a great serving day? So I think I'm leaning towards Jannik Sinner in 3 sets.
I like it.
I think.
And do you think in terms of the drop shot, we spoke about it during the match about Carlos using it against Fascio, but in terms of the drop shot, this is a weapon that maybe Carlos can use. Now I've actually noticed that Jannik uses it quite a lot again on the clay, in the 2 matches that I've watched him in Monte Carlo. He's used the drop shot, that that sliced forehand, like, cross court, inside out, drop shot. He's used it a couple of times, and I just wonder that's an anticipation, like, that they might have a kind of, because Carlos is obviously renowned for those drop shots. He throws in 2 or 3 every match on the clay, particularly. Just wonder if that's an extra. So if you say, well, Jannik's got the stronger serve, and I can go, right, okay, he does that. So the points that he wins on the stronger serve, Carlos can maybe try and win. His plus point is these drop shots. Is Jannik fast enough to get them then, though?
I mean, I think Jannik is quicker than anyone that Carlos has played in this tournament so far. Like, I think his movement is a different level above. Not that it's necessarily the level of a De Minaur or Tommy Paul necessarily, but yeah. I do think he's going to be able to get to some balls a little bit easier than Vachereau was able to do today. Sure. I think just like with the amount of times they played each other, like Sinner is going to have that anticipation as well. Like he'll be able to sense a couple of moments where it's like, okay, drop shot is about to come right here. I need to position myself. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be a really interesting match. Like, would not be surprised by either of them winning in straight sets or in 3. Like, I'm not sure that there's a result that surprises me necessarily. Absolutely. I mean, if one of them like double bagels the other, like that would be surprising. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, listen, fingers crossed we get a good match, and so Carlos is going for Jannik in the 3rd, and I've went for Carlos in 3 as well. So whatever happens, I'm sure it'll be a good one. But Carlson, listen, mate, it's been an absolute joy to spend the last hour or so with you, mate, and I'm sure I'll speak to you and do a stream with you again soon. All right.
Absolutely. That's been a great time. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll be covering lots more tennis. Obviously, the final tomorrow. Yeah, there's good tennis in Stuttgart.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah. My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. Alcaraz is serving first and is already up 30-15 in this opening game. It is a Monte Carlo final. It is Carlos Alcaraz against Jannik Sinner, and it is the first time that these two are playing this year, which for most players on the tour, that's not exactly a great deal of time. But for these two, given the regularity which they've met over the last couple of years, it is quite a feat. Anyway, Alcaraz has held for one love at the beginning of this match. So he is off to the ideal start. Do let me know in the live chat, first of all, where you're tuning in from. But also, let me know, maybe you have a prediction. Maybe you have a player that you prefer to win. And maybe you also got thoughts on the wider tennis world at large. Pretty cloudy, pretty breezy. Similar conditions to last year. Of course, last year was a year when Carlos Alcaraz won the title. He's looking to retain it. And of course, world number one is on the line today, which is unusual in the tennis world. That is a rare thing. That occurs about once every 2 or 3 years. It did occur, I think, at the US Open last year. I do think that's... What's my prediction, asks Ahmed. Actually, I don't think I've given a prediction. So let's do it now. I'll go for Alcaraz in 3 sets. But I have got the tiny advantage of having seen the first game. Not that there's a huge swing in that. It was just a hold of serve for Carlos. Just made my coffee. Once again, just a couple of minutes late because I was busy doing my coffee. Let me know in the live chat what your beverage of choice is today. I know Ahmed is in Islamabad, where I'm guessing Ahmed, what time is it? Must be getting close to midnight where you are. Maybe a little bit earlier, 10, 11 o'clock. I'm in Western Germany, where it is 3:15 local time. That's the same time, of course, as it is in Monte Carlo, as they exchange forehands. Really good depth there from Carlos, by the way. Peppering the Jannik forehand, but now they're on the backhands. How hard are they hitting this ball? My goodness me. You wouldn't want to be using one of these. Even your dog wouldn't want one of these balls after this, I tell you. It'll not be in the best condition. Even a dog might turn its nose up at the tennis balls that'll be torn to pieces come the end of this game. Okay, 15 all. There's a good backhand, a good forehand winner there, sorry, from Carlos. I mean, there's a lot of likelihood that Carlos loses his number one. Is it only it's only 3 hours difference. Okay. I thought it was later than that, Ahmed. So it's 6:15 in the evening. Okay. I thought the time difference between here and Pakistan was greater. Okay. Second serve here, because that first serve clipped the net and landed long. Oh, is that going to be a double fault? No. Lucky boy, Jannik. Hit the net and just landed in. Actually, let's see if we can give some volume to this. There we go. Okay, good forehand there from Jannik with Carlos on the defense, and Carlos goes long as a result. 30-15. It was interesting hearing Jannik Sinner say the other day that he prefers the cloudiness when he's serving, as in he finds the bright blue sky a bit of a distraction. That was post-match after his quarterfinal, I think, that he played. Yeah. There's Jannik's father at the front of the screen there. Okay, Jannik on the attack. A wonderful passing shot from Carlos Alcaraz, though. 30 all. I'm not sure if that net approach was the wisest decision. Well, to be fair, I mean, he's got to take that out of the air, but I guess he's just got to do more with the drive volley. Also, let me know in the live chat if you have a preference in terms of the kit today. We've got Alcaraz wearing what, to me, reminds me of an Argentina away kit, if you're familiar with football or soccer. Jannik always seems to draw the short straw with Nike outfits, in my opinion. He loves the old Fred Perry look. Okay, forehand here for Jannik into the backhand of Carlos. They're exchanging backhands as we speak. Carlos goes up the line. That's the change of direction that we didn't see Zverev deploy enough yesterday, and it is 30-40. Break point for Carlos Alcaraz already in the early stages of this Monte Carlo Final 2026. Okay, Sinner to serve, 7 minutes on the clock. Misses the first serve by some margin. Okay, into the rally here on the forehand of Jannik. It's going to be a big forehand. It's going to go long. And so Alcaraz gets the early break. First blood to the Spaniard. 2-love he leads. He certainly has started the brighter of the two. Jannik a little bit wayward there with that last forehand. Okay, Alcaraz to serve. He's served first, so a consolidation here, and it'll be a 3-love lead. The forehand return from Sinner goes into the net, and it's 15-love already. Okay, 2-love, 15-love for Carlos Alcaraz. Backhand return here into the forehand drop shot, but that's not going to be good enough, I don't think. Jannik's going to get there with a redrop, but Carlos should get there as well. Wow, how did Jannik Sinner end up winning that point? I actually don't know, even though I saw it unfold in front of my very eyes. So I see this drop shot here. Jannik gets to it, does a redrop, that lands in. Carlos Alcaraz, okay. He goes for the what seemed like a fairly rudimentary passing shot, but clips the top of the tape and lands back on his side, 15-all. Misses the first serve. Backhand return from Jannik into the backhand of Carlos. It's going to be exchanging backhands now. Oh, that backhand from Carlos goes long. So suddenly from 15-love, we're now at 15-30. Do make sure you join us for WTA Weekly. It will be on in about 4 hours from now. $15.40 now. 2 break points here for Jannik Sinner to get us back on serve. Sinner first serve. Sorry, Alcaraz first serve into the net. So a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at to get us back on serve already in this Monte Carlo final. Ooh, a little bit of fortune there for Carlos Alcaraz because it clipped the top of the net but landed in. So still a second serve here. Decent serve down the tee. And that return from Jannik goes long. This is their first clash, of course, on clay since you know when. Roland Garros last year, when, of course, Jannik Sinner had 3 championship points, but ultimately lost in a 5-set, 5-hour-plus epic. So 30-40 here, Alcaraz to serve. Must have just missed that first serve, just by a couple of centimeters. So another second serve here for Jannik to look at. Decent return. Exchange and backhands. Alcaraz on the attack, this time on the forehand side. Loofed it up. Oh, that's going to land in. And that's going to land out from Alcaraz. So it is a break of serve. Sinner there apologizing because I think one of those shots, that loopy one, was a mishit. And I think it deceived Alcaraz to some extent, and he ends up hitting his forehand long. So 3 games so far, and we've had 2 breaks of serve, 1 each. And I see Sinner there blowing his nose. Fingers crossed he's healthy. Just having a quick look at some of these drop shot placements during the tournament. This is from Jannik Sinner, winning 20 of 27 points from drop shots. Alcaraz 37 for 46. So a similar percentage. They're winning a similar percentage in terms of the drop shot points. And you would expect to win well over half of your drop shots, because when you deploy the drop shot, the idea is that you're on top of the rally. Not always, but generally speaking. And yeah, that seems to be a fair ratio. Maybe it's even slightly favorable. Okay, so when they return to the court, Sinner will be serving at 1-2, but I think he'll be a little bit of relief for the Italian because could easily have been 3-love down. Andrea Gaudenzi, the chief of the ATP. So 1-2, Sinner does return to the court. 13 minutes on the clock. Of course, Jannik is going to have a week off next week. As far as I'm aware, Alcaraz is still set to play Barcelona. Misses the first serve by some margin. Of course, the head-to-head is a favorable one for Alcaraz. But the last match between these two was won by Jannik Sinner. What a forehand that is from Jannik. Pinpoint precision there. 15-love. Yeah, 10-6 for Carlos is the head-to-head. On clay, I feel like maybe Carlos is unbeaten, but I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, so French Open last year, Rome last year, French Open 2024. No, Umag in 2022 went the way of Jannik Sinner. So Jannik hasn't won a match between these two on clay for 4 years. Of course, he's won plenty of times elsewhere, including their most recent match on the indoor hard courts of Turin. 30-love here for Jannik Sinner. For those of you just tuning in, do hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, you'll see this little number just above my head tick over. And you can do a little dance knowing you've made a difference. First serve there from Jannik Sinner is wide. So a second serve here for Alcaraz to look at. Okay, backhand the turn. A double fault there from Jannik. I think it is. As he sort of just wipes some dust from his eyes. Don't know if that was responsible for that double fault or not. Either way, it's 30-15. $40-15 now for Jannik. So 2 game points for the Italian to get parity in this first set. Alcaraz did start the brighter of the two, unyielding some pretty big forehands, but Jannik fighting back now as he seeks to get this to 2-all. Second serve here after missing the first serve down the tee. Okay. Jannik Sinner to serve. Where are you going to go with this serve? Okay, backhand return here from Carlos into the backhand of Jannik. Now it's on the forehand of Carlos. I think he thought about going for the drop shot there, but changed his mind. Still into the rally here. Now it's on a slice from Carlos. Exchanging backhands right now, but another slice here from Carlos. That's going to land in. Cool. Carlos could have gone down the line there. Now it's a drop shot from Alcaraz. It's not going to work, and it is 2 games all. That drop shot felt a bit panicked from Carlos. Didn't seem to be the logical shot to go for, but maybe he just didn't like to be in that backhand-to-backhand exchange, which was largely favouring Jannik during that rally. So, 2 games all. First Masters 1000 final between those two since their Cincinnati clash. That was a match that went the way of Carlos Alcaraz, but in quite unusual circumstances, with Sinner, of course, retiring when 5-love down through illness. Alcaraz, that's a great slice, that is. Now it's on a runaround forehand for Carlos, but he dumps it into the net, and it's love 15. Just some of these patterns of play right now, albeit obviously on a very different surface. But some of these patterns of play right now reminding me of the Wimbledon final, just in terms of the fact that Carlos is not quite sure what to do during some of these rallies. And he doesn't like them and wants to get out of them, let's say. And he's getting out of them, but unfortunately he's losing the points when he's trying to negotiate his way out of the web that Jannik Sinner has spun for the Spaniard. So, love 15 here. Now Alcaraz serves. Double fault from Carlos. Love 30. As I say, at the moment, I just feel as though mentally he's a little bit frazzled all of a sudden, which is quite weird to say, given how the first 2 games had gone. Just past 3:30 local time, 18 minutes on the clock. Thank you for the latest person who just hit subscribe. Much appreciated. First serve into the net. So love 30, second serve. And this match could be about to be turned on its head. Okay. That's on a forehand from Carlos. It's a big forehand that Jannik can't deal with. 15-30. I think this is a big game. Carlos holds and he steadies the ship. Jannik breaks, and he's obviously a warm favourite to take the set. Okay, 15-30. Misses the first serve, Carlos. It's another let on the second serve for Carlos. Do keep me up to date in the live chat if you're watching Spurs against Sunderland as well. I am keen to know how that match is going to turn out. Nice drop shot there from Carlos Alcaraz. 30 all. Finally, the drop shot works for the Spaniard. Of course, I could call him Carlos. I could call him the Spaniard. I could also call him the world #1. But for how much longer? Well, this match will decide. Because did that just clip the net on the way through? No, it didn't. No, it was a clean winner. I love a good clean drop shot, by the way. 30 all. There is a coffee shop near Wimbledon, by the way, the tennis. And it is called Drop Shop, which is a nice little pun, you know. Obviously with the tennis, but also the shot of coffee. Do check it out. And if you are working for Drop Shot and you wish to sponsor the channel, do let me know. We are open to all sorts of collaborations. Well, I say all sorts. Not all collaborations are welcome, but most. Okay, backhand to backhand right now. Forehand here from Carlos into the forehand of Jannik Sinner. Carlos on the defense, and that's not going to land in. Carlos didn't enjoy that rally at all. He kind of had the upper hand there, but somehow managed to cede that advantage. So baseline points 1, Sinner 11, Carlos 6. So maybe Carlos needs to approach the net a bit more. We can see why he's probably also keen to mix things up with a few drop shots. I don't think we've seen a drop shot yet from Jannik. Oh, and Carlos misses there, so we're going to have a break point here for Jannik Sinner. And that was careless from Carlos. Okay, so big moment here. Biggest point of the match so far. So many lets today. I don't know if that net is a little bit weak or what. Ahmed, what is your prediction, by the way? Okay, first serve lands in. Alcaraz, oh, with a sigh of relief. That return landed in, because if it hadn't landed in, Alcaraz's position there was in all sorts of trouble. Sometimes it seems today Alcaraz just isn't ready for the shot, almost. I mean, I know he won the point there, but if that had landed in, Alcaraz was in all sorts of trouble. Ah, that's a wonderful forehand from Alcaraz. Game point for the Spaniard. And world number one for now. 23 minutes on the clock. 5 winners off the racket of Carlos and just the one from Jannik so far. Okay, second serve here for Sinner to look at. Quite close to the baseline for that second serve return. Oh, what a forehand that is from Jannik. Now Jannik goes for the drop shot. I think it's his first one of the day. Oh, has he missed the volley? I think he has. Woo. So, first drop shot from Sinner of the day, but it didn't work because Jannik chased it down. Sorry, Carlos chased it down. And then it was an awkward forehand cross-court volley for Jannik to hit, but I would expect him to make that 7 times out of 10. But this was one of the 3 occasions. Right, let me have a quick look. How are Spurs getting on? 0-0 at Sunderland. I actually had a dream, and I think Spurs won 2-1. But the dream was Spurs at home, so bear that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to get the tennis scoreline back on the screen for you now. Tells you that we are in the European clay court season, where you hear that ring out frequently, but particularly in France and especially at Roland Garros. As we look at the ocean there, the Mediterranean. Umpire calls time. Will he be calling time on the spell at number 1 in the world for Carlos Alcaraz in the next hour or two? Well, we're about to find out. 2-3, Jannik Sinner to serve. Just lands his first serve. Forehand to forehand right now. Yeah, bunks the forehand into the net, so love 15. A settlement was 1 point and a town at 2 points. And then also the harbor and the longest road. And so if someone has 12 and it ends. So there is an old shoe in here. Okay, we're into the rally here. Love 15. Alcaraz backhand. Decent depth on it, but that's a big forehand from Jannik. Oh, what a Carlos backhand that is. And now he goes long, though, on the backhand as Carlos Alcaraz. Not by much. 15 all. Okay, so 2-3, 15 all. Now forehand for Jannik into the backhand of Carlos, which is going to go long. Benga Benga, says the coaching team of Alcaraz. Benga Benga, which is similar to Bamos. Ooh, that backhand return from Alcaraz goes into the net, and it's 40-15. I think in terms of the patterns of the play, in terms of what's going on, etc., I think Alcaraz will be... Sorry, I think Jannik Sinner will be the slightly happier of the two. He just looks a bit more comfortable at the moment. It's marginal. I mean, the scoreboard, it's pretty much on par in terms of both on serve. But yeah, just Alcaraz doesn't look super comfortable since going up 2-love. Run around forehand return from Carlos. Miss-hit forehand from Jannik, but it lands in. And now it's a forehand missed from Alcaraz, and it's 3-all. Carlos looking distracted, asks Remusus. I think distracted is the wrong word. Just a little uncomfortable. Just a little uncomfortable. Now it's 3-all, so, you know, it's not exactly panic stations. It's just that, remember that Wimbledon final? I think it was at the beginning of the fourth set when Alcaraz was looking at his team and basically saying, I don't know what to do. I wonder if that conversation, by the way, led to him having doubts about Juan Carlos Ferrero. Don't know. But he didn't really know how to win points as that match in Wimbledon wore on. And it's just got that feeling at the moment. The good news for Carlos is, though, that he's not 2-1 down at the time as he was in that Wimbledon final, staring down the barrel of defeat. It's 3-all, so plenty of time to rectify things. And that's a wonderful forehand winner from Carlos to get to 15-love. How you doing today, Remissus, by the way? Miss-hit forehand here from Alcaraz. And Sinner now on the attack. And that's going to land long, that defensive forehand from Alcaraz, 15-all. Still waiting for this final to really come to light. We've seen a few cool points, but we're not talking about like US Open 2022, that clash that they had there. Remissus, this is a great one. I've got a cup of tea and world-class tennis on. Hard to complain right now. What about world-class commentary as well, Remissus? That's a nice backhand volley there from Alcaraz, 30-15. How's the wife, by the way? Have you told your wife about your little trips to Talking Tennis and back? Does she know that you're tuning in? Thank you very much, Remissus. Or have you got like an earpiece in and you're listening to us, but she thinks you're talking to her? Okay, forehand to forehand right now. Backhand cross court. Okay. Holger Rune watching on. I've actually written to Annika Rune, his mother and manager, 3 or 4 times over the last couple of months. And she always responds and always polite, but always says, too busy, too busy. Oh, what a return that is from Jannik Sinner, deuce. And by the way, I'm not, I'm reaching out to her to speak to her son, not to have an interview with Annika. Although maybe it'd be interesting to interview her one day. I haven't seen her smoking recently. I just see her having a crafty cigarette from time to time, but I haven't seen that for a while. Okay, juice. Okay, forehand drop shot here from Alcaraz is really good, really good. That is world class. You can't teach that. The feel, the touch, the ability there. That's why he's the best drop shot player in the world. I mean, it's so close to just clipping the top of the net. It almost feels as though it does. And the way it drops dead like that. Look at that. Can she remiss us? Well, shout out to Mrs. Remissus, by the way. Tell her to make sure she hits subscribe as well, if you've got a separate Google account. Hopefully, she's looking forward to her trip to the Parisian museums while you sneak off to the French Open. Well, that was close to a double fault. What a backhand that is, but well defended by Jannik. Nice decision to go in behind him. That's a volley there. Is that... Ooh, Alcaraz there. Huge roar of relief to hold serve there. Came into the net. Wasn't the most convincing of volleys, to be fair, but Jannik couldn't deal with it. And it is a hold of serve for Carlos Alcaraz, but he's hanging on at the moment more than looking comfortable. But there is scoreboard pressure, as in Jannik is serving second. 3-4. Change of ends. What is going on in the football? Coming up to half-time. Sunderland 0, Spurs 0. Is there any other Premier League action on right now? Nottingham Forest 1, Aston Villa 1. Oh, wow, there's 3 matches going on at the same time. Newcastle are 1 up on Palace. Of course, Palace are in the midst of a European campaign. And I think this match falls in between the 2 legs that they've got against Porto, maybe? Meanwhile, Villa, of course, are chasing Champions League football, whilst Nottingham Forest are trying to preserve their Premier League status. And a lot of those matches have just struck half-time. For those of you wondering whether you're tuning into Talking Football or Talking Tennis, it is Talking Tennis, but I just had a little bit of a distraction to keep up with all the Premier League action. Meanwhile, Alcaraz and Sinner have a sit-down and a well-earned rest, but the umpire has called time now. Indeed, Rocket Forehand 99. Rocket Forehand 99, I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before. If I have, I do apologize. But it would be remiss of me not to ask you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Okay, forehand here from Jannik. He's going to miss. First time here. Good Rocket Forehand 99. Rocket Forehand 99, can you please hit the subscribe button? And when you hit subscribe, you'll see this little number just above my head. tick over. Thank you. There we go. Thank you, Rocket Forehand 99. Maybe I could call you Rocket Forehand 29192 because that is the subscription number that we have just hit. We're getting very close to 30,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, Rocket Forehand 99. Might just call you Rocket or Rocket Forehand. I don't know if you've got a preferred player, but do let me know who your favorite player is in the live chat, either historically or presently. Love 15 here. Jannik Sinner serving. 37 minutes on the clock. Jannik hits the net and it lands. Actually, the umpire had to call out there because it landed so far out that the electronic calling system didn't recognize it. Oh, double fault. That was close to landing in. So, love 30. That was an ill-timed double fault, that's for sure. Okay. Look how far back Carlos is. Even on the second serve, he's pretty far back. But he's so far back on the first serve, he's almost in the Mediterranean Ocean. Actually, it's Mediterranean Sea, isn't it? Run around forehand return. Oh, it's a good forehand up the line there from Jannik, but Carlos is equal to it. Now they exchange backhands. Good depth there from Jannik. And as a result, it just catches Carlos out. Didn't really quite get an opening in that rally, did he, Carlos, as to unleash a big one. So 15-30. These two players are far and away the best two players in the world. In fact, in terms of ranking points, I don't know whether this still stands, but I am closer to Alexander Zverev than Zverev is to Sinner in the ranking points. I have 0 points. You'll be pleased to know, or maybe not pleased to know. Maybe you want me to have some ranking points. I'd love to have an ATP point. In the Roger Federer book written by Simon Chambers and Simon Graf, I think are the two names, if I've got them right. There is a point in there's a moment in there where Federer talks about how pleased he is just to get his first ATP point. I love that moment. Oh, a mishit forehand there from Alcaraz, and it's 30 all. That was a bit of a shank from Carlitos. Misses the first serve, does Jannik. Run around forehand return here. Now forehand for Jannik Sinner into the forehand of Carlos. Backhand from Jannik is going to go long, 40-30. Okay, missed the first serve. Backhand return. Backhand from Sinner to Alcaraz's backhand as well. They exchange backhands right now. Now it's on the forehand of Jannik. And Alcaraz gets a bit lucky there with the net cord. Little bit lucky. It didn't change the trajectory too much, but it's lucky in the fact that it still landed in. And then Sinner maybe a little bit dumbfounded. Put his next shot long, deuce. Okay, Sinner here, deuce. Good first serve there that Alcaraz can't deal with. And let's listen to the crowd. There you go. How's your heart rate, Jannik Sinner? Okay, game point here for the Italian to get to 4-all. Good serve again from Jannik. Is this going to land in? No, it's not. Jannik Sinner holds for 4 games all. Much to the delight of his team and his father in particular there, front row. Who can forget his mother, by the way, when he had those 3 championship points? Who can forget that? Okay, 4 games all. Do let me know, Rocket, who your favorite player is. Oh, that just landed in from Carlos. Well defended there by Jannik. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, Jannik went big on the forehand at the end there, but it went way out. And there was a scream of yes, I think, from Carlos. 15 love. Okay, Alcaraz here, 4-all, 15 love. Okay, first serve clips the net and lands in. Okay, backhand return. Oh, what a backhand return that is from Jannik Sinner. 15 all. Pretty far out. Look how far he is on the left-hand side there. What an angle. $15 all. Clips the net again. So many net cords today. Okay, just coming up to 4 o'clock local time. Second serve. I'm in Bonn in Western Germany. Do let me know in the live chat where you're tuning in from. I know we've got a bit of a global field with Islamabad and Florida, among others, in the chat. Okay, backhand return from Jannik goes into the net. Just clipped the top of the net there and landed back on his own side. So it was close, and Jannik looks a little frustrated at that one. His final at the moment is on a knife edge. 30-15. Another let. Second serve. All-time favorite player is Roger. Current favorite player is Jannik. Interesting rocket forehand. Go Carlos from Ireland, says Krevin 2008. It's a good forehand, that one from Jannik. 30 all. Oh, you're tuning in from Manila, are you, Rocket Forehand 99? Do make sure you tune in for Alex Ialo against Leila Fernandez. We'll have that live on the channel, I think tomorrow, depending on the schedule in Stuttgart. The schedule for tomorrow is not out yet. But we will have it on the channel whenever that happens to be. Okay, 40-30 with an unreturned serve there. Just looking at the draw in Stuttgart. Maybe we have got an order of play. Well, at least we have a couple of matches tomorrow. Maybe Alex Ayala will play on Tuesday, actually. Ooh, good return there from Jannik Sinner. Means we're at deuce. Alcaraz couldn't deal with that depth. Okay, so it looks like qualifying is done as well in Stuttgart, and all the qualifiers have been placed. So we now know that Zeynep Sonmez is going to be playing Jasmine Paolini. Okay. That is a first-round clash. And the winner of that will play. So if Leylah Fernandez does... Oh, sorry. If Alex Ayala does beat Leylah Fernandez... Oh, double fault, Carlos Alcaraz. Break point for Jannik Sinner. Talk about ill-timed. Someone there in the crowd is shaking their head. Andrea Gaudenzi, the ATP Tour director, is barely paying attention to this match, but maybe that's par for the course. Okay, let's hone in back on this Alcaraz-Sinner match because big moment right now. Could serve down the tee, but it's well returned. Oh dear, Alcaraz is in a spot of bother here. Forehand now from Jannik. It's going to go long. Deuce. Alcaraz there, I think, not quite get out of jail free, but I felt as though that rally was not looking good for Carlos Alcaraz. Anyway, deuce. Okay, big moments. Could serve down the tee. Now it's a forehand drop shot from Carlos. Sinner's not going to get there. He just did not read that one at all. Game point, Carlos Alcaraz. Okay. Game point. Second serve. First serve goes into the net from Carlitos. Backhand return. Forehand now from Alcaraz is really good, but Sinner's equal to it. Backhands to backhands right now. Now it's a forehand for Jannik Sinner into the backhand of Alcaraz. Good depth there from Carlos. And it helps draw the error. 5-4. Carlos Alcaraz saving a break point en route. They'll sit down for the change of ends, and when they return to the court, Jannik Sinner will be serving to stay in the first set. 49 minutes on the clock in Monte Carlo. Just a reminder for those of you just tuning in, we had early breaks exchanged. Carlos held to 15 in the opening game, then broke the Jannik Sinner serve, but Jannik broke back immediately. And from that moment onwards, we've had holds, but Jannik looking a little more comfortable.
Yeah, because you have. Yes, I think you're supposed to roll once and then twice straight away.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you just.
Okay, so Sinner 4-5. Oh yeah, let's have a quick look at the Stuttgart draw.
And then it's your turn to do something. Okay, so we take them off the I think it's fine. It's not going to be.
Where are you, Stuttgart? Yeah, so it looks like for the matches tomorrow, it looks like Ayala will play on Tuesday. Could be wrong there, but that's what it looks like at the moment. And yeah, so Ayala, if she beats Fernandez, will play a familiar player in the form of either Sonmez or Paolini, who she played in Qatar. Okay, Sinner here serves. This one lands in, but he should put that smash away, and he does with consummate ease. 15-love. Okay, wonderful to have so many of you joining us right now. We've got Krevin 2008. If you haven't already hit subscribe, can you please do so? Just like Rocket Forehand did a little while ago. It's Rocket Forehand's first time here. He is a fan of Roger Federer historically, but also currently Jannik Sinner. Okay, 15 love, Sinner. Second serve, though, for Carlos to look out after the first serve goes into the net. So we've got Philippines, we've got Ireland, we've got Florida, we've got Germany, we've got Islamabad in Pakistan as well in the live chat. Okay, forehand here from Sinner, but actually didn't do enough with that forehand. Now Jannik comes into the net. It's a decent backhand volley. The lob from Alcaraz is not going to be good enough, though. 30 love. Okay, 30 love here, Jannik Sinner. 52 minutes on the clock. Ooh, it's a risky second serve. And that backhand's going to miss from Jannik Sinner, 30-15. Remember, he is serving to stay in this first set. So a couple of missteps here from Sinner, and he could be in huge trouble. Misses the first serve, so a second serve here at 30-15. Okay. Oh, a mishit return there from Alcaraz. It landed comfortably in the service box, that serve, but it did sit up quite nicely to be attacked. But he shanked that forehand. And it's 40-15. So 2 game points here for Jannik Sinner. Misses the first serve. Actually, since being broken, Jannik has looked pretty comfortable on serve. Okay, forehand to forehand right now. It's a big forehand from Jannik, but well defended by Carlos. And in fact, we're at neutral now. As they exchange backhands. That's a really good backhand that's also well defended. That drop shot from Alcaraz is going to be chased down. There's a redrop from Jannik. That's a wonderful forehand. Oh, it's going to just miss. Oof. Now, that was almost the point of the match, but I probably needed a winner there from Sinner to be, sorry, from Jannik, from Carlos to be so, but there was a drop shot there, which was pretty good from Carlos, but well chased down by Jannik Sinner. He then went for the redrop, which Alcaraz got to, but wasn't able to keep his forehand cross-court in. So 5 games all. Okay. Alcaraz serves. Forehand return. Now it's a forehand from Alcaraz with decent depth on it. That forehand's going to be mishit by Jannik Sinner, though, so 15 love. Okay. Forehand missed there from Sinner. Okay, backhand return there. Now, Carlos had a chance to come into the net there. Didn't take it. Good depth there from Alcaraz, but always... Oh! Couple of shots there from Alcaraz was super close to the line. 40 love. I thought he might regret not coming into the net there. Anyway, 40 love. Okay, Alcaraz here with a big forehand winner. +1, 6-5, hold to love. That's the most comfortable hold for Carlos in quite some time. Previous service game, he had to save a break point, remember? So once again, Sinner's walking the tightrope of having to serve to stay in the set after 56 minutes. 6-5, one break of serve each thus far. And the rest have been holds. But as I said, until now, Jannik has been the one who's been holding more comfortably. We've not really had much rain this week, have we? If any, I don't recall. Just seeing the dust there from probably from the clay court, I'm guessing, or maybe the beach, flying in the background. But yeah, I remember some Monte Carlo events being hit by rain quite badly. I remember that semi-final between Rune and Sinner in 2023, I think it was much delayed. But yeah, this year, I don't think we've had too many rain issues. And I don't think we're due any rain today. We will have WTA Weekly coming up later on as the preview, as Nick and Biola preview the upcoming tournament in Stuttgart. We will also have ATP Weekly as well, where the guys reflect on Monte Carlo, but also look forward to both Barcelona and Munich, which are coming up next week. Alcaraz, at the moment, is due to play in Barcelona. Jannik Sinner is going to have a week off, maybe even a bit more, because it's probably going to be the best part of 2 weeks before Madrid gets underway for him. Okay, Sinner to serve here, 5-6. Alcaraz very deep. Rafa Nadal-esque in terms of depth there. And he comes in a little bit, but not much for the second serve. Happy to just get in the rally rather than hit a return winner. Oh, that's a loose forehand there from Jannik into the tram line. Love 15. Of course, Carlos Alcaraz at the moment is still on for the calendar slam. I don't really feel as though that becomes a realistic conversation, though, until he wins Wimbledon and the French Open, of course. Good depth there from Jannik. This is a big point because love 30 and you'd almost make Carlos favorite. He comes into the net here. Oh! Alcaraz makes that backhand volley most of the time, but he didn't on that occasion. Again, I think it was the right decision to come into the net, but he didn't execute that backhand volley. And it's 15-all. Wow, Jannik Sinner has only made 39% of his first serves today. Now, that's going to go up, you'd imagine. So it's about time that Alcaraz started punishing some of these second serves. Okay, 15-all. 39% first serves in is particularly low. And there's plenty of sample size now. This is Jannik's sixth service game. He gets his first serve in on this occasion, but decent depth on the return from Carlos. And it's a loose forehand once again. That's two loose forehands in this game for Sinner. And it's 15-30. But really, probably should be love 40, given that backhand volley that Carlos didn't make. Jannik Sinner's coach gets to his feet and applauds his player. Or I should say not really applaud, encourages is probably the better way. With a little clap. Anyway, 15-30. Biggest point of the match so far, no doubt about that. And he's not made the first serve, as is so often the case as we hit the hour mark in this first set. Is the first set about to come to a close? Okay, backhand return from Carlos is pretty good. Now it's on the forehand of Carlos. Oh, again, he had a chance to come into the net, didn't take it. Oh, Carlos Alcaraz dumping that big forehand into the net. Again, I thought there was a chance to come into the net there, but maybe that backhand volley was still at the back of his mind. Anyway, 30-all. And I know I said the previous point was the biggest point of the match so far, but this is the biggest point of the match so far because If Carlos wins it, it's set point. If Jannik wins it, it's game point for the tiebreak. And he makes the first serve. Alcaraz scrambles to get it in play. Alcaraz on the defense, but he can't deal with that backhand. And it's 40-30, and it is game point, Jannik Sinner, to force a tiebreak. And I think Jannik, if he doesn't win this set, he'll look back on this game as being a game he probably should have won, because that backhand volley at the net, a couple of times he could have approached the net as well, a couple of forehands that he normally makes. Anyway, still 40-30. Second serve. Okay, forehand return from Carlos. Not enough depth on that forehand, in my opinion, but he's got a nice angle there, Carlos. Now it's on the forehand of Alcaraz. Comes into the net. Tricky volley for him. Doesn't put it away, but Sinner doesn't punish. So it's deuce. Égalité, says the umpire, which I think translates as being like equal. Of course, we know the word egalitarian in English, which no doubt has Latin roots. And we are at deuce. Okay, deuce. Big moments here. Gets the first serve in. Alcaraz scrambles to it, doesn't get it back in play. And it's another game point for Jannik Sinner. Big serve down the tee, getting his first serve in. Okay, Sinner to serve here, 5-6 advantage. Gets his first serve in. Alcaraz gets the return back in play. It's a mishit forehand from Jannik Sinner, and we're back to deuce.
How many points did you have? I had 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, then it's with me. So I have now 5 as well. Yeah, because it steals me 1.
Oh.
But if you get more than me, then you get it.
Okay.
Automatically.
Sinner serves down the tee. Backhand return from Alcaraz is not made again. That serve into the deuce court down the tee on the backhand side for Alcaraz has been effective in the last couple of points for Jannik. And it is game point once again for the Italian. Are we going to finally get this tiebreak? Remember, the head-to-head at the moment is very much in Carlos's favor, leading 10-6. The last tiebreak they had on a clay court, by the way, the 5th set of the French Open final. And that was a 10-2 tiebreak win for Alcaraz. Good serve there out wide, but Alcaraz gets it back in play. Alcaraz here fighting, but he can't get that forehand back in play, and so we are going to a first set tiebreak, much to the delight of the Jannik Sinner fans in the crowd. Okay, 6-all, tie break time. Yeah, he does need to get his first serve up, doesn't he, Rocket forehand? And by the way, when you say JS, I assume you mean Jannik Sinner and not John Silk. Yeah, because it was 39% when I saw that, but I reckon it has crept up a bit because I think he got quite a few first serves in towards the end of that last game. Okay, Alcaraz serves, six games all tie-break time, and it's going to be a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. Huge moments in the destiny of this first set. Backhand return from Sinner is missed. That felt like a chance for Jannik. It was a second serve that had a nice little kick to it, but still, Jannik normally makes those. I think by the unbelievable heights that these guys have hit in their clashes in the past, it hasn't quite hit those peaks thus far, but still plenty of tennis to play. It's been intriguing, and the quality at times has been quite high, but I feel as though these two guys have certainly got another level to go up for sure. Good serve there from Jannik. That's not going to land in that return, so it's 1 point all. Okay, 1 all. Sinner serves. Good serve, first serve there. And it's going to be a drop shot now for Jannik. Carlos is going to get there. It's going to be a tricky backhand volley. And Jannik puts the forehand away. That was a fascinating point because you thought that one player was well up. Then you thought the next player was well up. And in the end, it was a tricky backhand volley from Alcaraz and he didn't do enough with it. I mean, it was a backhand sort of, not smash, but you know what I mean, on the backhand side. That was really tricky, but he needed to get a bit more of a wrist action to it, to get a bit more purchase on it, to make life difficult for Jannik, but he wasn't able to do so. And Sinner now leads 2-1. Does feel as though there's probably a little bit more support for Sinner in the crowd than Carlos. Of course, Monte Carlo is not far away from the Italian border. Okay, Alcaraz to serve. Doesn't make the first serve. It feels as though Alcaraz's first serve is deserting him right now as well. Sinner ready to pounce here on this second serve. Backhand return is really good from him, but we're still into the rally here. Backhand from Sinner, sorry, from Alcaraz now. Doesn't tend to drop shots so often on the backhand side. And that backhand from Sinner up the line there is going to go long, 2 all. 2 points all. Okay, 2 all. Of course, it was Felix he played in the quarters, wasn't it, Jannik Sinner? I couldn't remember who played. Okay, again, Carlos missing that first serve. Is Jannik Sinner going to punish this second serve? Backhand return. That's a forehand from Carlos. Well, that's just going to land in. Drop shot now from Alcaraz, but Sinner's going to get there, and he's going to win the point. 3-2, Jannik Sinner. Drawing first blood in this tiebreak. The drop shot from Alcaraz was not effective. Bit too much height on that, and maybe even a bit too predictable. 3-2. Jannik Sinner. He has the mini break advantage. Ooh, Sunderland are winning 1-0 against Spurs. Okay, 3-2. Sinner to serve here. 3-2. Can he get a 4-2 advantage at the change of ends? It's a really good serve out wide. And yet Carlos can't deal with it. And it is indeed 4-2 at the change of ends. Okay, 4-2, Jannik Sinner. Good serve down the tee from Jannik, and Carlos can't deal with it. And it's 5-2, Jannik Sinner. I feel as though Alcaraz have a few regrets here because you know, for example, he goes up an early break in the match, 2-love, but can't consolidate to get to 3-love. Also, and if he consolidates there, pretty sure he wins the set. Also, that 5-6 game, Alcaraz had so many chances, really. No, not too many set points, but he's lost his footing here. It's okay. 5-3.
Yeah.
So I suppose I should show this, and otherwise we're hiding.
Yeah, I think it went real open, right? Sometimes you have a card. I don't know how So, is it my turn? Yes. Okay, I am in danger.
5-4. Alcaraz holds serve there, but Sinner now has 2 serves to win the set. Okay, Jannik's starting to pick it up. 5-4, Sinner. Where are you going to go with this serve, Jannik? Out wide. It should win the point from here because it was such a good first serve. Carlos is scrambling. This is going to land in, but it should be a smash put away by Jannik. It's not quite yet, but it is going to be not got back in play by Carlos Alcaraz. And it is 2 set points for Jannik Sinner to take a huge step towards both winning the Monte Carlo title for the first time in his career and the world #1 status that is on the line today. Okay, 6-4 Sinner. Where are you going to go with this serve? Is he going to get the first serve in? Oh, he is. But the return is going to... Oh, my goodness me! Somehow Alcaraz got that back in play, and somehow Jannik Sinner contrived to put that easy forehand into the net. The set was opening up for Jannik Sinner there. It was there. He did the hard bit. He got the first serve in. It was a great serve down the tee. Alcaraz got the return just floating back over the net. The ball was short, but it was so short. I guess the proximity to the net made it difficult for Jannik. It is still set point, though, for the Italian. But now it's going to be on the Alcaraz serve. 5-6. Alcaraz serves. Misses the first serve. Second serve here for Carlos Alcaraz. Still a huge opportunity for Jannik Sinner to seal this first set. Double fault, Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner wins the first set by 7 games to 6. Wow. Okay, we'll take a quick break, and then after the break, we will have a look back on that first set that Jannik Sinner has won.
Ready. Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And the breaking news is that Jannik Sinner won the first set by 7 games to 6. So let's just go through that first set. It was Alcaraz who drew first blood by breaking the Jannik Sinner serve to go up 2-love in the early stages of the match. However, Jannik Sinner broke back immediately to get it back to 2-all. From that moment onwards, both players held serve all the way to the finish line, but there were 1 or 2 break points for Jannik Sinner en route to that first set tiebreak. But for me, arguably the most important game of the match was actually at 5-6, when Alcaraz had a very makeable backhand volley that he dumped into the net. It did go to deuce. There was no set points for Carlos, but there were plenty of deuces and plenty of opportunities, plenty of rallies that it felt like he had a chance to go up in. A couple of times I thought he could have probably approached the net. And that was huge, that hole, because then we go into the tiebreak. Jannik Sinner gets the mini break advantage, 4-2 change of ends, actually gets to 5-2. Alcaraz then holds his next 2 points to get to 5-4. Sinner then wins the next point on his serve to get to 6-4. So his 2 set points, the first of which is on his serve. Unbelievable serve down the tee, but actually unbelievable return from Alcaraz too that just made it over the net. Sinner then dumps the forehand into the net, and the first set point came and went. And you're thinking, okay, here we go. We're going to have a 6-all scenario, change of ends. But no, Alcaraz at 5-6 in the tiebreak, double faulted. And so a match that has not always lived up to the heights of some of their previous occasions has gone the way of Jannik Sinner thus far by winning that first set on a tiebreak. Sinner's first serve percentage has crept up a little bit from the 39% that he had at one point during that first set, but it's still not great. And he's missed the first serve here. And Alcaraz with a decent return into the rally here, exchanging backhands. Jannik's going to go long with his backhand up the line. It's love 15. Okay. Okay, forehand here from Jannik into the forehand of Carlos. And now the forehand from Jannik's going to go to the tram line. Love 30. Okay. Sinner missing the first serve. So love 30, second serve here for Carlos Alcaraz to look at. Run around forehand return. It's a pretty good return, but Jannik's equal to it. And now Carlos dumps his forehand long, 15-30. Again, it felt like there was a chance there for Carlos just to stay at neutral for a bit longer. As I see a drone in the sky. I'm assuming that's a drone with a camera on it.
And I can give you the shoes.
Okay, Sinner serves. Out wide, misses the first serve. 15-30, second serve.
And you get, stone. And the fish.
Okay. Alcaraz is equal to that. Wow, what a point. 15-40. 2 break points here for Carlos Alcaraz to get the early break again, just like he did at the beginning of the match. That landed in just by a couple of centimeters.
Yeah, a second.
2 break points here for Carlos Alcaraz. Jannik Sinner to serve, 15-40. Serves out wide. And that forehand chopped return from Alcaraz is going to go into the net. 30-40. That felt like it was a makeable return. Alcaraz not happy with that. Understandably so. Taps his shoes, get rid of the clay from the soles of his boots. Okay, second break point here. Jannik Sinner to serve. Oh, just missed. That was so close to landing in. Okay, backhand return. It's got good depth on it there from Alcaraz. Ah, he's gone long with the backhand, Carlos, and it's deuce. Okay. Jannik Sinner, deuce. Serves out wide. Forehand return. Forehand from Sinner up the line. It's a good forehand. Alcaraz defends it, but Sinner's on the attack. Puts the forehand away. And it's a game point for Jannik Sinner, having won 3 points in a row from 15-40. Again, this match is feeling like... Yeah, I think Carlos is going to have a few regrets, that's for sure, if he ends up holding the runners-up trophy this evening. Okay, Jannik Sinner serving here. Game point to go up 1-love. If Sinner wins today, does that make him the favourite for the French Open? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, backhand to backhand right now. It's a backhand miss by Carlos Alcaraz. And Sinner holds from 15-40 down. 1-love to the Italian. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the manner of the victory stroke defeat. But yeah, I think let's say Sinner wins this in straight, 7-6, 6-3, something like that. I think it probably does make him the favourite right now. Particularly bearing in mind how the last 6 weeks have gone as well, when you throw in the fact that Jannik won the Sunshine Double and Alcaraz losing relatively early in Miami to Sebi Korda in the semi-final of Indian Wells to Medvedev. So the form would be with Jannik. Plus, he'd have won the last 2 matches against Carlos, including one on clay. Anyway, all of that is all hearsay for now. Alcaraz serves. First serve goes into the net. So a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. Backhand return from him into the backhand of Carlos, which is going to... Oh, I thought it was going to go long. It has gone long, yes. Love 15. Second serve here for Sinner to look at. Backhand to backhand. That backhand from Sinner goes into the net. 15 all. Are we going to get to 29,200 subscribers by the end of this stream? Possibly. If we go 3 sets, definitely. Good serve there from Carlos. Gets to 30-15. Do hit that like button, by the way, if you've just joined. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe on our channel. And if you hit subscribe, you'll see this number above my head just tick over. We have lots more watch-alongs to come. We've even got 2 more live streams today. We will have WTA Weekly with Nick and Biola coming up in a couple of hours from now. shortly after this final has concluded. That's WTA Weekly, where they'll look forward to the upcoming tournament in Stuttgart and reflect on Linz, as well as Billie Jean King Cup. Good backhand up the line there from Alcaraz, and it helps him win the point to get to 40-15. We'll also have ATP Weekly in a few hours, as well as they reflect on Monte Carlo and look forward to Barcelona and Munich. Yeah, Carlos puts his first serve into the net. That return from Sinner is going to go long, and it's 1 game all. Yes, and regarding the WTA event in Linz, Mira Andreeva beat Potapova in 3 sets. So that's Mira Andreeva's, I'm going to say that's her first title since Indian Wells, which is obviously a little over a year ago. So that's a good one for Mira to win. And of course, I think Mira is in action. Oh, she's going to be playing Yelena Ostapenko in the first round in Stuttgart. Wow. Okay, miss-hit forehand there from Jannik is going to land in. Good forehand there from Jannik. Nice angle from the Italian. What a rally this is turning into, by the way. Oh, and it ends with a forehand into the net from Jannik Sinner. And so it is love 15. Sinner can, says the umpire. Yeah, Alex Yalo against Leylah Fernandez is going to be coming up on Tuesday. Serve down the tee there from Sinner. We're into the rally right now, but it ends in an Alcaraz forehand into the net. 15 all. Okay, 15 all here. Drop shot from Sinner, but Alcaraz is going to get there with a redrop, but now Sinner should chase this down, but he misses the forehand somehow. Had plenty of time to pick his spot there, but the spot he chose was out. 15-30. Okay, Sinner serves down the tee, but misses. No, he's landed the first serve, but so is Alcaraz landing the return somehow. They're into the rally here, but Sinner dumps a forehand into the net, and we're going to have 2 break points again for Carlos Alcaraz, just like we had in the previous service game for Jannik Sinner. That was a disappointing forehand for the Italian. Okay, Sinner out wide. Forehand return from Alcaraz. Wonderful forehand there from Jannik Sinner, but Alcaraz gets his racket on it, but it's not enough. Alcaraz is annoyed with himself there. I think he's annoyed because he didn't get enough of the depth on that return. 30-40, so it's another break point that's come and gone for Carlos Alcaraz. That's 3 already in this set. This is his 4th break point opportunity. He's not broken the Jannik Sinner serve since the 2nd game of the match. Good serve there from Jannik. We're into the rally, though, because Alcaraz is equal to it. Now it's a backhand from Alcaraz, slightly off balance then. It's a good forehand from Jannik, well defended by Alcaraz, but Jannik should win the point from here. Comes into the net, does that with a volley. It's going to be too good, is it? No, because... Oh, my goodness me! Carlos Alcaraz through the eye of the needle, that forehand, and he does get the break of serve. He leads 2-1 in this second set, just like he did in the first set with a break of serve, but on that occasion, he wasn't able to consolidate it and get to 3-love. Will he be able to consolidate the break on this occasion? What a point that was, by the way. I almost thought that Alcaraz was giving up on the chase. There was a decent volley from Sinner, wasn't there? And Alcaraz, though, is so quick. But not only that, to have the presence of mind and the ability on the racket to find that little channel. So look at this. It's a decent pass, but it was a decent volley from Sinner. Alcaraz is quick to it, though, gets to it, and then just guides it down the line. And Sinner can't get his racket on it. Maybe Jannik is just hoping that that ball's going to land out. Wow. You just can't teach that. 2-1. The celebration from Carlos as he outstretches his left arm and finger towards his team, and they go vamos as he goes up 2-1 in this second set. Of course, he lost the first set by 7-6. Wow, says Rocket Forehand 99. I know, wow, Rocket Forehand 99 is a Jannik Sinner fan, but even he can don his cap in the direction of the Spaniard regarding that last point. As we look at the trophy that one of these two players is going to be lifting today. If it's Jannik Sinner, he's going to be world number 1. And I think he'll be world number 1 probably up until at least the French Open. But bearing in mind, Jannik Sinner will have only points to gain in Madrid and will be defending final points in Rome and final points at Roland Garros, and not that many points until Wimbledon. You'd imagine it'll be until Wimbledon he stays at number 1, if he gets number 1 today. Oh, a mishit forehand there from Jannik Sinner, 15-love. Alcaraz can hang on to world number 1, by the way, because he didn't play Madrid last year. But if he's to hang on to world number 1, he's going to have to win the title today and at least reach the final in Barcelona. Okay, forehand from Sinner. Alcaraz is going to be a winner. 30-love. So this attempt at a consolidation has got off. And by the way, Alcaraz as well, you know, he has really threatened the Sinner serve, hasn't he, in this second set? Because he had 2 break points in the opening game. And he got it on the 4th break point opportunity. Jannik here with a smash. And he's missed it. That was a weird point because Alcaraz gets his serve in. Sinner gets really good depth on the return. Alcaraz wasn't quite ready for it and just scooped up a backhand that just sat up nicely for Jannik to put away, but he didn't put it away. So 3 game points for Carlos Alcaraz. Sunderland are still winning 1-0 against Spurs. Good return there from Sinner, and Alcaraz again can't deal with it. I say again because it's almost as if he's not getting his footwork into play today regarding some of these returns. 40-15. Still 2 game points here for Alcaraz to go up 3-1. Okay, Alcaraz misses the first serve. Backhand return into the backhand of Carlos Alcaraz, which is going to go long. 40-30. And suddenly a comfortable hold. Looks a little bit less comfortable right now. Of course, in terms of Premier League football, Spurs began the day in the relegation zone. And if they lose and Forest hold on for at least a draw, they'll be further entrenched in that relegation zone. Alcaraz here, 40-30. Backhand return from Sinner. Oh, that's going to land just on the line from Jannik. And it's a wonderful forehand winner from the Italian. And we're now at deuce. Again, these returns from Jannik are just too good at the moment. And so, it's deuce. Is Carlos going to fail to consolidate again, just like in the first set? Misses the first serve down the tee. So a second serve here for Sinner to look at deuce. Backhand return from Jannik. Now it's on the forehand of Carlos, but he puts that away. We've seen him miss a few of those today, but not on this occasion. Game point Alcaraz for 3-1. I think we're going 3 sets today, ladies and gentlemen. I did call it as a 3-set win for Alcaraz at the beginning of the match. Okay, second serve here. Wonderful to have so many of you joining right now. Please hit that like button. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. Backhand return here from Sinner. Nice backhand there from Carlos. Carlos on the attack now with a forehand. Oh, he's just missed that forehand. It's quite similar to the previous one that he put away. And that was a chance. But this has been a match of chances for Alcaraz. It feels as though he's the one who is squandering the chances, which has put Sinner in semi-charge of this match. I say semi-charge. He's obviously won the first set to put himself in charge, but having now contrived to be a breakdown in the second. It's obviously that grip on the match that he had has been loosened somewhat. And it's going to be a second serve for Sinner to look at here as well. Double fault from Alcaraz, and it's going to be a break point. It was a double fault, of course, that cost Alcaraz the first set. 5-6 in the tie break. Alcaraz double faults to gift the first set to Jannik Sinner. And now he's gifted a break point opportunity for Jannik Sinner to get us back on serve. Remember, Alcaraz was up 40-love in this service game. And it's going to be a second serve for Sinner to look at. These second serve returns have troubled Carlos so far today. Might be prompting some of these double faults. He doesn't double fault on this occasion, but it's a decent return from Sinner. But really good attacking play from Carlos. But now it's actually at neutral, though. Slice here from Alcaraz. It's going to just land in, but he's in trouble here. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. But it's actually going to get out of trouble because Sinner's going to dump his forehand into the tram lines. Deuce. Just out. Okay. Deuce, ladies and gentlemen. I would be intrigued to see how the poll is going to who's going to win this particular encounter. Or maybe I don't even have a poll. I'm going to put a poll up now, ladies and gentlemen, to see this point through. Alcaraz gets lucky with that net cord. Wow. Right, let me put a poll up in the YouTube chat. Apologies for not having one up before. To get voting as to whether you think Alcaraz or Sinner is going to win. There goes the poll, people. So do get voting. A lot will depend on how this game turns out. And Alcaraz has dumped that forehand long. I imagine that the destiny of this game will also influence big style who's going to win the poll. Alcaraz gets the first vote in the poll at least. So at the moment we have one vote. And 100% of the one vote has gone for Carlos Alcaraz. But maybe many of you are going to wait to see how this game pans out. Because if Alcaraz holds, he's got a backhand here cross court. Backhand from Sinner lands in. Forehand from Alcaraz changing direction. That's a wonderful forehand from Jannik Sinner. But we're still into the rally here. Backhand from Carlos is pretty good. But it's not going to win the point just yet. It's another good backhand from him. Oh, is he going to get lucky? No, he's not. I was going to say, is he going to get lucky with another net cord? But he's not. And we're going to have another break point for Jannik Sinner. And maybe somebody just watched to see how that last point went before voting for Jannik. But now we've got another vote for Alcaraz. It's 2. Wow, look at how this poll is going to and fro at the moment. Break point for Jannik Sinner. Okay, first serve goes into the net. Second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. It's a decent return from him. And again, Alcaraz is struggling. Oh, but Sinner's missed the forehand. Deuce. Wow. Deary me. Alcaraz there. From the minute Sinner hit the return, he was struggling big style. And Jannik Sinner is now 5 from 6 on break points today. He's only took 1 from 6, I should say. Oh, and that's a good serve from Alcaraz. Game point now for the Spaniard. Okay. Just coming up to 5 o'clock local time. Drop shot here, but it's going to be read by Sinner. He's going to get there. Oh, he's going to miss the backhand. Wow. Sinner had his chances. I mean, he read that drop shot quite easily. Got there with time to spare, but somehow contrived to put the backhand long. And so Alcaraz eventually does consolidate. It's something he wasn't able to do in that first set. He went up 2-love with a break in the first set, but he couldn't consolidate. And from that moment onwards, he was pretty much on the back foot, ultimately losing the tiebreak with a double fault. Anyway, 3-1 Alcaraz. Let's have a look at the poll, by the way. I bet we've got a few more votes for Alcaraz. Yes, 57% have gone the way of Carlos right now. Jannik on 43%. Do get voting in this poll. I'm going to share it with you on the screen. Get voting, people. Also, hit the like button, by the way. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. Okay, forehand return here from Carlos. That forehand from Jannik is going to go long, and it's love 15. Someone's just voted for Sinner in the poll. $50-50 now in the poll. And I feel as though this is a 50-50 match right now because obviously Jannik has won the first set, but Carlos is in a pretty good position to win the second. And for me, Carlos was the slight favorite pre-match. So that 50-50 voting scenario feels about right. Okay. Got almost 50 people watching on YouTube right now. Wonderful to have you all on board. Let us know your thoughts in the live chat. Forehand return here from Carlos into the forehand of Jannik as they exchange forehands. Jannik changes direction. That must have just clipped the line. Still into the rally, and it's Carlos eventually dumping his backhand into the net. So it's 15 all. Yeah. 50-50 the voting is right now on the poll. Do make sure you hit that like button. Of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. We're looking at the Spanish and Italian flags, which I don't know if that's a coincidence, but they are flying right next to each other. Okay. Sinner puts his first serve into the net. Second serve here for Carlos Alcaraz to look at. A double break, and the set will just about be his, you'd have thought. Forehand from Jannik goes up the line and out. So 15-30. Now that double break becomes a bit more of a realistic opportunity. By the way, the Sunderland-Spurs match is into the 9th minute of injury time. And it's still Sunderland 1-0 against Spurs. Yes, it is funny. 15-30. Sinner serves, misses the first serve out wide. Now 45 minutes on the clock. 5 o'clock local time. 15:30 second serve. Where are you going to go with this? Double faults have been a feature of this match, but more so from Carlos than Jannik. Good depth there on the return from Carlos, which has helped put him in charge of this rally. But Jannik is fighting back with a really good forehand. And now it's Carlos who goes long. 30 all. Carlos went up in that rally, didn't he? But ceded the advantage. And it's now 30 all. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-la, wee. Sinner misses that first serve just. How's your heart rate, Jannik? I just want to reassure people that is not actually Yannick's heart rate. Forehand return here from Carlos goes long, and it is 40-30. The poll is now at 60-40 in Carlos's favour. For me, it's a 50-50 scenario right now. Backhand return from Carlos. Drop shot here from Jannik. Is Carlos going to get there? Yes, he is, but he's not going to be able to pull off the redrop. And Jannik Sinner holds. Change of ends. 3-2 for Carlos Alcaraz, but that is 3-2 with a break of serve. Spurs Sunderland, 11 minutes now of injury time. Maybe the ref is a Spurs fan. Okay. Just 3 subscribers away from 29,200. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do. We will have WTA Weekly coming up in a couple of hours with Nick and Biola. And then after that will be ATP Weekly. The WTA Weekly will focus mostly on the upcoming tournament in Stuttgart. ATP Weekly will reflect on this final, also the tournament as a whole in Monte Carlo, before looking forward to both Munich and Barcelona, which are getting underway. The main draws tomorrow. And then we will have a watch along for plenty more tennis matches throughout the week, but definitely going to have one for Alex Ayala against Leylah Fernandez, which I think is coming up on Tuesday. The draw has now been set for Stuttgart. I think that's the Formula One driver, George Russell, I think. I know he's often at this tournament in Monte Carlo because that's where he resides. I've seen him and Jannik Sinner, of course, is a big Formula One fan. That is Prince or King Rainier. I guess he's king. I don't know. Does Monte Carlo have a king? Let me know in the live chat. I think actually just a prince. How can you have a prince, though, without a king? Weird, no? And, of course, this court is named after him. I'm guessing that's a drone, unless they've attached a camera to a bird. I'm guessing that's that drone that we saw earlier. Okay. Alcaraz here serving at 3-2. And Spurs have lost. What is the reaction? What do we think? Is this Spurs? What do we think of Spurs' chances of survival in the Premier League? Good forehand there from Alcaraz. 15 love. So, 3-2, 15 love. Backhand return here from Jannik. What is Carlos doing there? He served and then either stayed where he was or even drifted out to the left. I guess, though, I have to give praise to Jannik's return there. Look how just millimeters clipping the line. But I still feel as though Carlos wasn't quite ready for that. Another good return from Jannik that, again, Carlos didn't quite seem to be in position for. And now he's dumping a forehand long, 15-30. The precision of the Jannik Sinner return seemed to be catching Carlos out, but he doesn't quite seem to have his footwork in place, which is very unusual for arguably the best mover on the tour. 15-30. Good serve there from Carlos. It's going to be a drop shot, but Jannik is going to get to this one. And he's going to get that volley as well. That's a smart backhand volley, and he's going to have 2 break points now, Jannik Sinner. He had plenty of breakpoint opportunities in the previous service games of Carlos Alcaraz, and now he's going to have 2 more here. That drop shot wasn't good enough from Carlos. Maybe it was ill-timed as well. That wasn't an easy backhand volley there, but Sinner dealt with it well. There's Stefan Edberg there in the crowd. Former French Open finalist. Of course, he won Wimbledon a couple of times as well, among 6 Grand Slam titles overall. And it is going to be a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at 15-40. Backhand return from him. Now it's on the backhand of Carlos Alcaraz. Now it's on the forehand of Jannik Sinner. Good depth there from Alcaraz. Good change of direction from Sinner, and he's dumped that backhand into the net, has Jannik, and it's 30-40. That felt like a 50-50 point, and when Jannik changed direction there, it felt like he was just going to put himself in charge of the point, but Alcaraz dealt with it really well. So another break point in this set goes a-begging for Jannik Sinner. But he's going to have another one here at 30-40. Alcaraz to serve. Ace out wide. I think that's Carlos's first ace of the day. What a time to bring it up. And it's deuce. Is that a back-to-back aces? I think it is. That's wild. Game point, Carlos Alcaraz. I've just had a message from my chess coach on a chess application I downloaded. It says, message from my coach. Do I want to try a fun, quick chess puzzle? Can I click? I wonder if I can respond with no. Curious how this application doesn't give me the no option. Anyway, I'll deal with that later. Right now, let's deal with Carlos Alcaraz against Jannik Sinner. It's deuce. Good serve there from Carlos. Unreturned, and as a result, he has another game point. And now, having had that first set and also the first game of the second set where Alcaraz had a couple of break points come and go, it does feel as though maybe now in the last few games, it's Jannik who's going to have all the regrets because he's had so many break points in this second set, but he's not been able to take any of them. I'm going to have a look at some of the stats at the end of this game. Backhand return there from Sinner is pretty good. We're into the rally right now as they exchange backhands. Carlos tries to change directions, but actually goes long. Might have been just as well to just stick on that backhand-to-backhand exchange. Didn't feel as though the change of direction was really necessary there. Deuce. Alcaraz with the serve down the tee, but he's missed the first serve. Ooh, misplaced ball toss there from Alcaraz. Second serve deuce. As we approach the 2-hour mark for this match. Backhand return from Sinner into the backhand of Alcaraz. And that's going to land out. So break point, Jannik Sinner. This has been a match of attrition so far. It's 2 hours and we're only midpoint of the second set. So another break point here for Jannik Sinner. It's his third of this game. I think it might be his 7th overall, and he's only taken 1 thus far. I'll have a look at the breakpoint stats at the end of this game. First serve clips the net and lands in, so it's going to be another first serve here for Carlos. Good serve out wide. Drop shot from Carlos Alcaraz is not going to work, and Jannik Sinner does get the break, and so it's 3 games all. Yeah, what I was going to do is have a look at some of these breakpoint stats. Finally, Jannik gets his second break of the match. 3 aces for Alcaraz. 2 of them, I think, came in that game alone, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, so 2 from 9 on breakpoints today is Jannik Sinner. Converting 2 breakpoints out of 9. Anyway, he won't care too much about that right now because they are back on serve in this second set. 3 games all. Wonderful to have so many of you tuning in right now. Please, all of you, hit subscribe on the channel and watch this number above my head tick over as we get closer and closer to 30,000 subscribers. Okay, Sinner to serve here. 3 all. Second serve as well. I don't think... Listen, Alcaraz would be disappointed to have been broken there, but I still think he has chances on the Jannik serve. He's going to need a bit more depth on some of these shots. But that's a wonderful backhand there from you, Carlos Alcaraz. Love 15. If this was being played on a grass court, of course, it would be slightly different to squander that break advantage. That was a wonderful backhand there, hit on the rise. Oh, look at the poll, by the way. We've got now 52-48 for Jannik Sinner. And with this scenario of him breaking back there, it does feel as though it's a swing in Sinner's favour. But that might swing back in Carlos's favour if he gets the break again. Second serve here as well at love 15. Big point this one, because love 30, and you'll think, well, actually, Carlos might well get that break. 15 all, and it might feel like a real momentum shift towards Jannik Sinner. Oh, I think Carlos has missed that forehand. He has. 15 all, 2 hours on the clock exactly. Okay, 15 all here. Sinner to serve. Down the tee, backhand return. Drop shot here from Sinner. Alcaraz is going to get to it. That's going to land long, though. 30-15. Okay, 30-15. Sinner serves, but misses the first serve. Okay, we're into the rally, but Alcaraz is going to go long. So it's 2 game points now for Jannik Sinner. to get to 4-3. And that will feel huge, bearing in mind he was down a break. Second serve here. Run around forehand return, and Alcaraz is going to hit that forehand return long by a long way. 4-3 Sinner, who is 2 games away from the title, but of course they are on serve. 2 hours and 1 minute on the clock. It felt as though Alcaraz was in charge of this set. Had a couple of game points, didn't he, for 4-2. And the way that sort of drop shot floated out to lose the break advantage he had, plus the double fault in the tiebreak, which cost him the first set. Anyway, 4-3. All is not lost yet for Carlos, but that advantage has come and gone. And we will have WTA Weekly coming up in about just under 2 hours from now. Nick and Biola will be in the chair for that one. I've just posted a poll as well as to who people think is going to win the WTA tournament in Stuttgart that's getting underway, the main draw tomorrow. That's the link, by the way, to the upcoming show. Talking of polls, 57% now going the way of Jannik Sinner. Umpire calls time. And here's the poll I've got up for WTA Weekly. Who do we think is going to win that tournament in Stuttgart? Rybakina, of course, the number 1 seed in the absence of Aryna Sabalenka. Swiatek number 2, I think, and Goff number 3, or is it Goff number 2, Swiatek number 3? Not even sure what the WTA rankings are in terms of the Goff and Swiatek rankings. Is Swiatek world number 3 or world number 4? Okay, we're into this rally here with forehand from Jannik. It's really big, and Alcaraz can't deal with it. Oh, go off is number 3, Swiatek number 4. So it's love 15 here. Yeah. And suddenly, this match is turning in favour of the Italian. Of course, if he breaks serve here, he'll be serving for the match. So good forehand there from Alcaraz, though, and Sinner can't deal with it, 15 all. Okay, just two subscribers away now from 29,200. This is the first serve. Backhand return here from Sinner into the backhand of Alcaraz, which is a decent backhand, but it's not going to win the point. But Jannik messes up the backhand, hits it into the tram line, and suddenly it's 30-15. So 30-15 here. It's actually Alcaraz that's hitting a lot more errors on the backhand today than Sinner. Decent serve down the tee there from Alcaraz, and that's a decent forehand from him. And as a result, Sinner goes long on the backhand. And from 3-4 love 15 and feelings of danger and insecurity. It is now 40-15 and 2 game points for Carlos. Good serve out wide, but well dealt with by Jannik Sinner. What a backhand that is from Jannik. That backhand cross court was just too good. 40-30. Okay, still a game point here for Carlos to get to 4-all. Carlos serves into the net on the first serve. So a second serve here for Sinner to look at. Feels as though both players are a bit short on their first serve percentages today. I'll have a look into that stat in a moment. Let's see how this next point pans out. Double fault, Carlos Alcaraz, deuce. Those double faults now starting to tick over for Carlos. That's his 5th, I think, of the match. 5 double faults from him, 2 from Jannik Sinner. Of course, the biggest double fault from Carlos today came on set point in that tiebreak, costing him the first set. Forehand return here from Jannik into the rally right now on the backhands. It's a bit short from Carlos, that backhand, but it's okay for now. Now it's a forehand from Jannik Sinner, which is really good. Carlos just about defends it, but he can't defend that forehand. It's an outright winner from Jannik Sinner. It's going to be a break point for 5-3. He wins this next point, and he'll be serving for the match and the title and world number 1. Those 2 forehands were just too good. Carlos on the stretch there couldn't even get his racket on that. And from 40-15 and seemingly comfortable, we have a break point opportunity for Jannik Sinner here. Alcaraz desperate for a first serve. Gets it. No, he doesn't because it clips the net. So it's going to be another first serve. As he elects which ball to choose. Most professionals tend to go for the fresher looking ball for the first serve. Misses the first serve, so it's a second serve to look at. I've heard Andy Murray talk about the logic in that you're more likely to have a rally on the second ball, and so therefore a slightly slower ball is a bit more favourable. Okay, backhand here from Carlos into the backhand of Jannik Sinner. Backhand from Carlos up the line. The forehand from Jannik is a gift for Carlos Alcaraz because it goes long and we're at deuce. Very much at neutral there. That's unusual for Jannik to err in that moment. Deuce, people. Points played on serve. Carlos Alcaraz 90. Jannik Sinner 70. Decent serve up the tee. Oh, what a return that is from Jannik Sinner. And again, Alcaraz is not ready for it. And he's certainly not ready for that forehand winner from Jannik Sinner. Another break point for the Italian. Now, that is the manager of Rafa Nadal there. Okay, break point, Jannik Sinner. Body serve there from Carlos. Big forehand from Carlos. Comes into the net. And that volley's not going to work. Jannik Sinner gets the break and will serve for the title. Much to the delight of the Italian contingent in the crowd, which is pretty sizable. Alcaraz's decision to come into the net there. I've kind of criticised him today for not coming to the net on certain other points. But on that occasion, I didn't think that there was a net approach obviously available. But he decided to go for it. And it gave him a really tricky volley that he couldn't deal with. So, Jannik Sinner, 3-1 down in this set. 4 games in a row. And he will now serve for both the title and world number 1. It'll be his 3rd title in a row. winning the titles in Indian Wells and Miami. Misses the first serve. Second serve here, Jannik Sinner. Lands in. Forehand return from Carlos is very short, but we're still into the rally right now. Backhand from Carlos is pretty decent, that one. But Jannik is equal to it. Oh, Carlos changing directions, going over the higher part of the net. Dumps his backhand into the net. And it's 15-love. Jannik Sinner, 3 points away now from the title. 5-3, 15-love. Jannik Sinner, 3 points away from world number 1. Okay. The umpire calls for calm. Jannik Sinner serves. Out wide, but misses the first serve. So, 15-love, second serve. Okay, Sinner to serve. Backhand return from Carlos. Plenty of height on that backhand. And he's going to miss that backhand. 30-love. And it's been a day of missed opportunities, I think, for Alcaraz. Of course, he was up an early break in the match. Ceded that advantage. Then in the tie break, he double faults on set point. And then also in this set, he was up 3-1 as well. But he's lost 4 games in a row. And if it's a 5th game in a row, that trophy that we just saw is going to be lifted by Jannik Sinner. 30-love. Jannik Sinner. 5-3, 30-love. Good serve down the tee. Somehow Alcaraz gets it back in play. But is he going to get this back in play? Not sure. Is this going to land in? It is. It's going to be a really tricky smash for Alcaraz. And we're back to neutral somehow. Backhand now into the forehand of Alcaraz, which has got good depth on it. Another run around forehand for Alcaraz. And that backhand from Sinner is going to go long. Somehow, Alcaraz won that point. Somehow. Unbelievable defense there from the Spaniard. It was a tricky smash for Sinner, but he landed it in play, and then we were back to neutral, and then Alcaraz dialed up the pressure. One more sub until 29,200 subs. 2 points for Jannik Sinner on the title. 30-15. Where are you going to go with this serve? Misses the first serve. But he is still just 2 points away from the title. Okay, run around. Oh, no, it's not going to be a run around forehand. Backhand return. Backhand from Jannik. It got decent depth on that as they exchange backhands. They stay on the backhand side, and this time, Alcaraz dumps a backhand into the net. Seemed to have a bit of indecision there, whether he was going to go up the line or go cross court. And in the end, he just dumps into the net, so it's all irrelevant. 2 championship points. 2 world number 1 points for Jannik Sinner. You can hear Yuki in the background, Ghosty, I know. Okay. 2 championship points, Jannik Sinner. Serves, clips the net and lands in. So it's going to be another first serve here for Jannik Sinner to seal the title and the world number 1 status. Sinner to serve. Where are you going to go with this serve? Forehand return. It's going to go long. Jannik Sinner doesn't quite fall to the clay, but he has won the title. 7-6, 6-3. They exchanged pleasantries at the net. A straight sets win. That's back-to-back straight sets wins for Jannik Sinner over Carlos Alcaraz. And Jannik Sinner lifts the title in Monte Carlo for the first time in his career. These 2 players now have 1 title each in the Principality. And the story of the match, well, the match never quite reached the heights of some of their previous clashes. Of course, now the head-to-head will read 10-7 in favor of Carlos Alcaraz. It was 10-5, but back-to-back wins now for Jannik Sinner at the ATP Tour Finals at the back end of last year. That was a straight sets win. This was also a straight sets win for Jannik Sinner. And the story of the match, well, Alcaraz goes up an early break, but wasn't able to consolidate that break and get to 3-love. They then, both of them hold serves, but it is Jannik who's a little bit more comfortable on his serve for the remainder of that first set, except for at 5-6. And at 5-6 in the first set, Alcaraz doesn't get a set point, but he does get to deuce. But also, there's so many rallies in that 5-6 game that felt for me as though they were there for the taking. There was a backhand volley in particular that Alcaraz dumped into the net at a crucial moment in that 5-6 game. And it felt like a game and a set of missed opportunities for Carlos. And then suddenly Carlos is down 5-2 in the breaker, gets it to 5-4. Then it's 6-4 to Sinner in the breaker. And he has 2 set points. But Alcaraz does get that mini break back. But at 5-6 in the breaker, Alcaraz double faults on set point. And as a result, Sinner wins the first set by 7-6. Second set, Alcaraz goes up a break again, 3-1. But there were so many of these rallies and exchanges, and it didn't feel great from Carlos's perspective, despite the fact that he was up 3-1 in that second set. And then a run of 5 games in a row, including a couple of breaks for Jannik Sinner. And ultimately, he wins the match by 7-6, 6-3 to win his first title in Monte Carlo and get to world number 1. Make sure you join us for ATP Weekly, which will be coming up in around about 2.5 hours from now. We'll also have WTA Weekly in an hour and a half with Nick and Viola. So please join us for that. But in the meantime, if you are a fan of Jannik Sinner, you can enjoy your man being at world number 1 and lifting his first ever title in Monte Carlo. For now, that is us over and out. We'll see you all again very soon. And you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.